Take a look at oil. This price that it settled at, $48.52 today. We need to let you know that tomorrow's the last trading day of the month. Crude down about 18% for this month alone. That is, by the way, its second worst monthly performance since 2008. But it didn't hurt the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. A lot of trades involving oil going through there, helping their numbers. Terry Duffy is the CME Group Executive Chair and President. Great to see you, Terry. Let's begin with all of the trades. And you guys had decent numbers here this time around. A lot of activity.
We did, Liz. It was a wonderful quarter for CME Group. And as you mentioned, energy was one of our leading products. You know, when you have such a dramatic move like we've seen in the price of oil, you know, just over the last 6 months, basically going in half, you know, you're going to create a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty of what that price ultimately is. Hence, we've seen a lot of hedging, a lot of trading activity associated with the oil products. With
that, you had 20% growth in Forex, foreign exchange trades. You had just higher trading volume overall, contract volume up 6%. So business looks really good. What happens? Because it's pretty obvious that Janet Yellen and the Federal Reserve are going to tighten rates, maybe even September. What are you expecting? I know I revisit this every time with you, but it could very well change, couldn't it?
Well, it could, Liz. And I think what's important from our earnings, let me just revert back for a second, is our revenue was up 12%. And I think that's really important when you can beat on the top line number. That, to me, is a very critical number. When we look at what Federal Reserve Chairwoman Yellen may or may not do, it has such an impact, Liz, as you know, on every single product in this world because there's borrowing costs associated with everything. So what I have a concern about is if, in fact, the Fed chair doesn't move sooner rather than later, we get into some of the political shenanigans in Washington that we've seen before. So you get potentially debt raise, you know, that you got to raise the debt ceiling. Then you got the threat of the Congress potentially, you know, saying we're not going to pay our bills. What does that do then for other people coming in to buy our debt at these basically zero rates? It's going to be very difficult.
I'm hearing you say.
She has.
Then I'm hearing you say, like all of the CEOs I speak to say, raise the debt ceiling when it comes to it. Don't fool around. That's your message to Congress as a business leader?
Well, that is a message that I would have is raise the debt ceiling. But at the same time, I would, if I was the Federal Reserve chairperson, I would definitely start moving these rates now while you have the opportunity to do it. You don't want to do it when you're forced in a situation when they're dealing with the debt ceiling. That was more my point.
I hear you. I hear you. I've got to just quickly touch on the New York Stock Exchange glitch. You and I didn't get a chance to talk after that, but wow, what a mess that was. Would you guys ever consider doing a systems upgrade during a weeknight like they did? I know you don't want to take a swipe at them, but that does. I talk to IT guys all the time. I said, what are they doing? You do that on a weekend.
Yeah, Liz, I will not take a swipe at him. You're correct. I have respect for everybody over there, and I think the New York Stock Exchange is an iconic institution, and I think it's great for America. But I will say that on our upgrades, we do use the Saturdays, and we work 7 days a week here, and that is a big day for upgrades, testing, and making sure our markets are prepared for Sunday evening at 5 o'clock.
Well, it's just the smart way to do it since, 30 years ago when computers came about. You don't do that over the weekdays, certainly. What keeps you up at night right now, Terry? Anything that really in particular worries you beyond Congress and the debt ceiling and what they may or may not do?
No, I think, Liz, when you look at what's going on around the world, I mean, it's becoming a very ugly, scary place, and I would just hope that our national security continues to be at the forefront of people's minds. I think that's critically important. And then I look at the cyber issues associated with what's going on around the world. When you look at what happened to United Airlines, the New York Stock Exchange was not a cyber issue, but the United Airlines, the Wall Street Journal, all in one day, you know, you could start to cause a little panic in the streets when you have these type of situations. That's what worries me a lot. And so I'm hoping we can continue to all work on cyber issues, whether you're in the financial services, in the newscast, broadcast business like you are. We all need to work on this together to make sure we can have a safer place.
You know what worries me? Another Blackhawks Stanley Cup.
Now, listen, that should do nothing but excite you. And I can't believe you put a Cleveland Browns shirt on. I wore this tie because I thought maybe you and I were going to prom together with your dress, my tie.
Yeah, I saw that lavender. Yeah, it kind of matched. It's a Browns hat.
And you put on a Cleveland Browns hat after the Blackhawks have won 3 cups in 5 years. I thought for sure you would have your Blackhawks gear on.
I'm waiting for Joel Quenneville to send me a hat. Okay, so whatever. Good to see you.
I'll be with the coach. The coach is a fan, and I'm going to make sure he sends you an autograph hat and some other souvenirs from the Blackhawks.
Thank you. You know, Joel Quenneville, the coach of the Blackhawks, isn't the only fan, Terry. Fox Business had its best month ever this past July. So thanks for you. You're a friendly guest, and we love having you always. Thank you.
You know why that Fox Business had the best month ever? Because they had the best news anchor on TV, and that's Liz Claman.
You know
so
what?
Congratulations to you.
Anchors, plural. We're a team. No I in team. Great to see you, Terry. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Liz. You too.